Tokyo, Japan. My name is Gary Verheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substance of Living podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges. Welcome to episode 31, Blinders and Developing Perspectives. Let me give you the dictionary definition of blinders. Blinders are small screens attached to a horse's bridle right at the eyes to prevent the horse from seeing and being distracted either from the side or sometimes even the back. And this is to keep the horse's attention front, particularly race horses. Unfortunately, many people live their life with blinders. Why? My guess is survival. Not just survival. They've surrendered their choices in life. Get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch TV, go to bed. Get up, go to work. It's the same thing over and over. They fail to see because they're just almost hunched over and living moment by moment in the same way every day. They're wearing blinders and they're unable or unwilling to consider alternatives or options or choices that each person has, and each of us have choices to make every single day. Those people that are wearing blinders usually hate change. They fight against change. They just want to live. They just want to survive. And that's so sad. Because life itself is change. Right now, you're different because of the information you've heard at the beginning of this video. You're different right now compared to when this video started. You've learned some things, you've considered some things, you've changed. You've made a slight change. Life is change. So life is an opportunity with each change, is an opportunity to learn. And that means you have choices. That means you have alternatives. That means you have options. Plus, if you think about this, every human has a very short, infinite amount of time in life. In fact, with Bushido, the way of the samurai, one of the main pillars of Bushido is death. And they say, death is always with me. That sounds rather morbid. That sounds like, oh my God, death is always with me? What philosophy is that? But look at it this way. It's true that death is always with me. I live in Tokyo. An earthquake can hit in the next 5 minutes and I can die. You can be walking down the street and the bus driver has a heart attack, dies, and the bus runs over you. No one knows how long you're going to live. Life is infinite. We have a limited amount of time, and death is always with us. What does that mean? Death is always with us. So I might not get a second chance to correct my mistakes, to do it over again. I can only live in this moment now. And I need to be aware that I have choices to make, that I do have alternatives, that I do have options. I'm asking people to take off their blinders and to live their life. How do they do that? How can they gain those perspectives? In the first couple of videos that I made, we talked about who am I, what is my purpose. That's what's very, very important in order to create perspectives and to consider choices that you have or create choices that you have to make your life better. And the target is, if you can incorporate what you love, your passions, into what you do in your life, the work that you have, you will have power beyond your imagination. Because you're working, you're living for yourself. Because you're living your dreams and working at the same time. Think of that. You're living and working for your passions, for what you love doing. You're living your dreams. What could be better than that? Thank you. Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or connect on Twitter. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.